4.5%. 4.5%. That's what council's putting it up this year in Sheffield. Unbelievable, isn't it? So they bring in this stealth tax in for motorists. We're going to be charged for clean air zone. Ridiculous, as you know my feelings on that. No such thing, it doesn't exist. You're just moving pollution into other areas around Front City Centre, where, let's face it, only students usually live around the city centre anyway. Most of them's that are doing revision and at university, they're not bothered anyway. So they're moving all cars out of city centre into suburbs, so people don't have to drive through city centre. Well, they can't, they can, but they can't. And then it's just come up that they're putting 4.5% on us. Nah, that's absolutely scandalous. They waste money, this council, like you've never known. Bereavement services is the most profitable part of Sheffield City Council, but it's the least funded part. There's 2 chapels at City Road Crematorium, but they can only use one because there's no staff. In fact, some days they've no staff anywhere. They've cut it to bone, this council. The cemeteries, the problem is the cemetery staff get the blame. And before, I've known when there's been 30 plus people working at City Road on groundsmen, and it used to be, it were pristine. There were flower beds and oh, it was just beautiful. Going back to late 80s and 90s. Now, them lads what work there, and there's an handful of them, are expected to do everything. It's impossible. It is impossible. They're always chasing round, trying to catch up, and they can never catch up. Because they don't just look after one cemetery, they've got cemeteries all over the city. Yet this council will put stupid container buildings up, metal containers. We're going to make these into shops. But then it didn't get past planning, so it all got took down. Cost, I dread to think. I genuinely dread to think what costs of that were. So, here's my thoughts on this. I honestly believe that at the next election, local elections in Sheffield, we need to get a monkey from somewhere. You know, like he did that, Michael Jackson. We need one of them. If anybody out here's got a monkey I could borrow around election times, I need one. I need one just to try something out. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this monkey with a Labour badge on. And I'll tell you now, seriously, a lot of people in Sheffield will still vote for it because it's Labour. Honestly. That's the problem. They've had it far too good for far too long. Yep, a few years since Liberal Democrats got in. But they're useless anyway, aren't they? Let's be right about it. Liberal, who votes Liberal Democrats? Well, somebody voted them in. It shook them a little bit, Labour, because they were knocked off, and it was the first time in since anybody can remember that it weren't a Labour council. It's crap, absolutely crap. Councillors in Sheffield should hang their heads in shame. I'm collecting, and not just me, other people are having to go around getting food to supply communities and food banks and help them as much as we can. People of this city are on their arse, seriously. In fact, I know one bloke in Sheffield that's on bones at his arse. It's ridiculous. It's scandalous. And I don't know where people's going to get this, just pull this 4.5% from. I just ain't got a clue. But this council aren't bothered. I think it's £63 million deficit, I think it is, shortfall. Whose fault's that? Who's holding the purse strings? It's like giving a kid your wallet with, I don't know, 100 quid in it and taking him out for a day to Skegness. That's how it is, Sheffield Council. They like children with a wallet in Skegness, and they just spend it. No matter what they see, they'll buy it, they'll spend it. They don't spend it on the things that they should spend it on. They spend it on stupid things, ridiculous things, things that aren't necessary, but they think it looks good. Statues and stuff. Who gives a shit about statues? Who's bothered whether there's a statue in park? You go past Burngreave, and that area of Sheffield has not got a good reputation. There's some lovely people round here, don't get me wrong, but it's got a bad reputation, Burngreave. But then there's a great big metal like knot tied. It's about, I don't know, 15, 20 foot high statue on corner. What's all that about? Whoever's made that must have been laughing the, we're going to say balls off, but I better not. Laughing the monkeys off at them. Hey, do you know why they say it's that cold it could freeze brass monkeys off? Well, brass monkeys used to be what they stood cannonballs on ships when they went to sea. Obviously in olden days when they used to have cannons. So you'd have your cannon and then you'd have these metal things what they put cannonballs on, ready to fire. So when it froze and it were really cold, because metal contracts, these cannonballs used to fall off. So that's why they said it's that cold it could freeze your balls off. Brass monkeys, that's it. Freeze, that's what they were called. Ought to start again, but I'm not going to. So that thing were called brass monkey, and they used to put the cannonballs on it. It was like a long thing that held cannonballs, brass monkey. That's why we say it's that cold it'll freeze balls off a brass monkey. It's got nothing to do with a monkey and its balls. It's to do with that sailing. Has a lot of things. Sailing has a lot of things. I know a guy, well I still know a guy, I don't see him now, Tommy, and he were in Navy, Tommy, and he told me also it's like with square meal, 3 square meals a day. What's a square meal? Well, on a ship your plate was square and it'd sit into like a square indentation. Yeah, I am a funeral director in Sheffield. But I'm trying to educate people as well, alright? So don't be saying, what's he on about? Brass monkeys and square meals? Thought you were on about council. I'll get to council in a minute. So this council, I hope to God somebody sends them a clip of this. They'll not watch it because they don't like criticism. You've got John Burkle. Old John's 84, I think John is, and he's walking round. Nearly £1 million he's got. This one guy with an old pram, what he bought from down Attercliffe for Lickland when they were babbies. £4, I don't know what it, £4.6 and a tanner or something. He's told me that many times and I bloody forgot. He'll be fuming if that watching. His lad, don't be telling him I forgot how much pram were. £4.6 and a tanner or something. This old man's raised nearly £1 million for Mike Millen. This council gave him freedom at city. What does freedom at city mean in Sheffield? Well, he's allowed to walk sheep up moor, apparently. Oh, John ain't got no sheep. He's not interested in sheep. He never will have sheep. It's not freedom at city this guy wants, it's a knighthood. He wants knighting. And he should be put forward for a knighthood. And this council are a disgrace. People of Sheffield are on their arse. Just remember that when it comes to voting time. Catch you all later, and I forgot my clicker. I'll do it with that hand, so